So Britain's got some abundant cultural issues these days, and it turns out that they're not even in the most diverse places. Now, this data might be out of date because remember the census was taken in 2020 before the Boris wave, but here's a place called Deanshanger. Now, that's just outside of Milton Keynes, the model city that Angela Rayner wants to replicate all across the country. For those who don't know, Milton Keynes is a proper concrete eyesore, but we're going to get a bunch more of them from Operation Scatter.
It was an explicitly socialist project built in, the 60s and the 70s to be like the perfect socialist community where everything's connected by roads, there's no foot traffic out in Milton Keynes, everybody just goes to the shops, goes to work, and then goes home. So there's no human contact with one another at all, and it's ironically turned into a capitalist paradise because it's all just big brand chain shops there now.
It's an insect hive, and they want more insect hives everywhere. But Deanshanger at the moment is a provincial little town, and it's 90% white, English, Welsh, Scottish, Northern Irish, or British. So it is 90% indigenous and homogenous, at least from the most recent data. We need an emergency census to find out how much that has changed, but it just goes to show the level of disruption that a very small amount of migration can have on a local community. And I mention this because we have a story where the local police have said that they say asylum seekers, illegal migrants, loitering outside school gates and taking photos of schoolgirls is just a cultural issue. Now that's downplaying it a little bit. I mean, yeah, it is a cultural issue, but the problem is the culture is one of open predation on children. Yeah. Police have told the immigrants themselves, they've told them off, and they've said they must adhere to cultural expectations following reports that they were loitering outside the school. This is Northamptonshire police, and they said they would, quote, deliver some work, so like some colouring sheets, or, draw the line to the person you're allowed to talk to, don't draw it to the 3-year-old girl, etc., around appropriate behaviours following complaints of men hanging around outside the school. The force pledged to work with a hotel housing asylum seekers and step up patrols after reports of suspicious activity in the village of Deanshanger. All of these are, of course, euphemisms for the fact that migrants are preying on children.
So the appropriate behaviours, is this going to be a replica of Sweden's award-winning approach to just tell them not to rape people?
Oh, is this the Finnish don't touch me, they're my no-no square dance?
Similar, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I would imagine we're spending a lot of money on those particular consent workshops that are probably not being delivered in the various Tower of Babel languages that these predators speak. This is Sergeant Lorna Clark from the neighbourhood policing team. She gave an update to residents in which she confirmed the force had received several calls from people concerned about males hanging around the primary school at drop-off and pick-up. A lot more foreign nationals around the playground at collection time. Weird, that. And bear in mind as well from our previous reporting on the rape gang trials that some of the places where the girls themselves were abused in Rotherham and Rochdale were school playgrounds and behind nurseries. So serious concern, but isn't taken that seriously by local police. Sergeant Clark said that after speaking to people directly and having her officers attend the hotel, they hadn't identified a risk to anyone, and there is no evidence to support that any offences had taken place. So they've given multiple warnings to the parents. They've given worksheets to the migrants to say, please don't harass children. But there's no evidence of this happening. Weird. Okay. She said, while I fully appreciate the community's concerns, I ask that people don't take this matter into their own hands, but continue to speak to the police about any incidents they witness or any concerns they have, which of course the police will then immediately dismiss. We are well linked in with the hotel and can deliver some work there around appropriate behaviours and different cultural expectations. Northamptonshire police said there had just been community rumours in relation to filming of pupils, but it hadn't been confirmed.
Well, what you said, there was no evidence that anything had happened. No. It was that there was no evidence that any offences had taken place. So in typical British police fashion, they're going to wait for the horrible crime to happen before doing anything about it, even though it's incredibly obvious what's about to happen.
And anyone who was forecasting the obviousness of what was about to happen, they will continue to call a far-right conspiracy theorists that are just seizing upon grievance narratives, as the Home Office often do. They said these community rumours were existing, and despite saying that there's, again, no evidence of the offences, the school said it had contacted the police and urged parents to be extra vigilant. As an added precaution, we will be keeping children away from the back of the field for the time being. Now, for context, the field of the school backs onto an asylum hotel. Who thought that was a good idea?
Well, I'm sure when they built the school and the hotel, They didn't expect this particular set of circumstances to emerge.
It's like foxes walking back and forth around the chicken wire, separating them from the hen coops.
Yeah, but you could say that in choosing a hotel to house these people in, which we shouldn't have to do in the first place because they're not our responsibility, we should just send them straight back where they came from. They could have chosen better, or maybe this was the intention all along.
Yeah. Again, by the way, when they say, again, there's no evidence of these offences, the Telegraph has done good work here. Again, Sam Ashworth-Haynes writing this, excellent reporter, spoke to one 29-year-old mother of 4, who asked not to be named for obvious reasons. She said she was afraid that the men may come onto the school's playing fields, and that every day since September the men have been stood outside filming. She said since the reports had come in, the police had been seen regularly outside the school. Wonder why they're stationed there if they're not actually concerned about anything happened. Her 32-year-old husband said it's a safeguarding issue. And the reason this made headlines as well is because we procured this recording. This was filmed by someone related to one of the mothers at the school, and she just called the hotel. She went around the police, she just called the hotel directly.
Oh yeah, is this the MK Hotel in Deanshanger?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, are you guys aware that the asylum seekers that you guys have got in the hotel are down by the school taking photographs?
Are they doing it right now?
They're not right now, but they were about 9 o'clock this morning.
9 o'clock this morning. It's my understanding that the police have been contacted. We're aware currently. Would you like to call the welfare team that work here?
No, that's okay.
I don't actually deal with it.
Is there just like any other people in your hotel, or is it just the asylum seekers, just in case we're getting confused?
Just the asylum seekers.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right then. Well, we've reported it to the police, and we'll just keep doing what we can. But I just think you guys should be aware. I drove round this morning after seeing them, and you know, I saw the same guys entering the hotel that are outside the school.
Okay, do you have any kind of description? So I can tell the welfare team.
Yeah, one of them was in an army jacket this morning. Yeah, they were in an army jacket. Obviously, they've all got beards, and there's like different ones every day. But yeah. So we kind of my sister. I was late this morning on the school run, but my sister saw them at school drop-off time. When I was late, I turned up and saw them again, and I beat the horn, and they ran off with their hoods up and stuff. So I just wanted to make you guys aware.
Yeah, no, I mean, our phone's been going crazy all morning. I've been getting a lot of phone calls.
Oh, bless you.
I'm aware of what's going on. All I can say is I've got phone numbers for the correct welfare teams. We do have security here. So all the people who are worried about this can contact them. Obviously, I'm just on reception, so I can't actually do anything. But yeah, we've not actually had a visit from the police yet.
When I drove by this morning, it seemed like it was all just men in the hotel. Is there actually any women and children, or is it just men?
No, there isn't any women and children.
Oh, okay. Seems strange, isn't it? Because they're all seeking asylum, but they're not with their wives and children and stuff.
No. I know 100%. I think it's the same over the country, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for helping. I really appreciate it.
Curious how we're just paying to, again, battery farm strange foreign men who keep filming children and then scuttle off when they get caught. Weird that. And it's weird how they keep getting calls from concerned parents. So we know this is going on. The hotel staff themselves know this is going on. Police seem to act like something's going on because they're stationing police officers at the school, and yet they say we've got no evidence of it. Yeah, I'm sick to death of the gaslighting as well. I can tell by your face, mate. Exactly the same. And the thing is, for anyone saying, well, okay, are you overstating the case a bit? It might just be this one place. It might just be that they've accidentally dropped all the potential paedophiles into one hotel.
This is basically the same story that came out near the end of last year in that school, that district of Manchester.
Altrincham, isn't it?
Yeah, Altrincham. Yes, thank you for reminding me there. Where they'd just been dropped into a hotel that was suspiciously close to a number of schools, in fact, directly opposite one.
Yeah, well, we also know the predatory intent because of this story that I helped break to GB News. The migrants themselves, mainly North African gangs from Morocco and Algeria, were posting videos of girls on nights out in states of drunkenness and undress to basically market their people trafficking services to say, come on over, the girls are willing and able. But the Home Office knew about this and didn't take any action. There are also videos of them burning churches down and throwing money around alongside breaking into Europe. So I think it's safe to say their predatory intent was made pretty clear. But it's also not like they don't have better things to do. As we learned yesterday, local councils in the UK have spent £141 million on services for migrants such as yoga, circus classes, and DJ lessons. So this is West Sussex Council. They spent £334 to buy PlayStation consoles and games.
Thank God. Well, they can all play FIFA.
Yeah, £496 on yoga classes. And Croydon Council spent £317,224 on classes like DJ skills, costing £6,900. So they're really, really busy learning valuable skills.
How many do you reckon you could remigrate for £141 million?
Well, I think you're given discretionary payments of a few £1,000s for people to take voluntary returns agreements. So
no, I don't even necessarily mean the voluntary returns. I mean the ones that we know are here illegally that don't get asylum.
All of them. They're all here illegally.
Yeah, exactly. So £141 million. I think you could make a decent dent.
You could just buy a lot of Ryanair flights.
Yeah. They don't need to be an expert in like luxury comfort, do they?
50 quid for a one-way ticket? Yeah, you could do a hell of a lot. But so again, remember, all of this is a choice. And it's going to happen more often because a choice is being made by the Labour government with this, the Border Security, Asylum and Immigration Bill. Now, these banalities are put through Parliament. There are amendments to other bills that have been amendments to other bills, and it's kind of Russian nesting doll of boring legislation.
Like the way the Equality Act was just a bringing together of a load of different legislation.
Yeah, and then the Public Sector Equality Duty created a left-wing patronage network for outlets like Hope Not Hate to receive government funding to gaslight you as a racist. Well, this one, in clauses 37 to 39, are just going to repeal much of the asylum legislation passed under the Sunak government. Now, Rishi Sunak didn't stop the boats as promised. He didn't lower net migration. I wonder if his long-standing record of wanting more Indian migration and then importing 250,000 Indians a year played into this somehow. Who knows? But anyway, they at least passed the Safety of Rwanda and the Illegal Migration Act in 2024 and 2023, which would hypothetically set up a deterrent to deport people to. We could have just used the Ascension Islands or the island of Pitcairn instead because they're British overseas territories, but it seems that we're more interested in selling those off for the Chagos Islands. And it also prevented anyone who broke in illegally from having a successful asylum claim. Now, that's on the statute books. Of course, whether or not you actually get turned down, you can frustrate with appeals to the ECHR and the UN Refugee Convention, but they at least passed the law which made it harder for you to claim asylum successfully if you broke into the country. Labour's going to get rid of all of that. With 3 clauses, they're going to get rid of all of it. Here's some details in the Telegraph. The Home Office is repealing the rules introduced in the Illegal Migration Act that prevented many people from seeking settled status and citizenship if they came in illegally, and also clauses that allowed asylum seekers to be treated as adults if they refuse to consent to age assessments. So, you know the chap, Lawangin Abdul Rahimazi, the dodgy Afghan asylum seeker, who killed 2 people in Serbia, then broke into the country, lied about his age, got stuck in a school, threatened a kid with a knife, and then murdered aspiring Marine Thomas Roberts. And it turns out he was actually an adult. Those sort of people. Yeah, all the checks that would have prevented that from happening, Labour are getting rid of them. Why? Presumably because they not only want more foreign males outside of school gates, videoing school students, but inside schools, putting girls at risk. Purpose of the system is what it does.
The Welsh government wants that.
Yeah, that was the Welsh Refugee Council, which was set up under the Major government, I believe, and is staffed by a bunch of refugee groups, basically ethnic interest groups.
Race grifters.
Yep, there we go. So how many are there going to be? Because this is important. If there's going to be more of them, how many are currently here? So I found out this bit of interesting information. Oxford Migration Observatory, they called it unauthorised migration because, of course, they're incredibly left-wing. I mean, Madeleine Sumption, who's on the Migration Advisory Committee, Lord Sumption's daughter, who lobbies for more immigration, is also part of the Oxford Migration Observatory, so you can never really trust their framing of things. But if we scroll down, so there's some estimates of how many illegal migrants are in the country. So, you know, for example, in 2017, Pew Research said that there were 1.2 million visa overstays, and former Home Office ministers in 2019 said there's well over 1 million here. They said 150,000 overstay their visas every year, so they're just going up and up. After the Boris wave in 2021, of course, where net migration trebled and went up to 1 million a year, how many do you think visa overstays happen every year?
Well, in this one it was 150,000, and you said it trebled under the Boris wave, so maybe treble that, 450,000.
So the problem is,
Oh wait, did they not track it anymore?
we don't know.
Ah, yes.
If you see that big box there, they just gave up.
Year ending March 2021. How convenient.
When something happened, and they just decided, we're not going to actually record illegal migration anymore.
Well, it was lockdown, COVID. It was a difficult and very confusing time. So we just forgot.
Oh, that's still going on, by the way. So all those people in the Home Office that were employed to keep that data, they've kept their jobs, presumably. They're just not doing it anymore, and we now just have this big pink box that says data not publicly available. Again, when I first saw this graph, I mean, I shouldn't be shocked, but I nearly fell out of my chair because it's almost comical how large that we just gave up box is. So we actually don't know how many illegal migrants are here. They're going to attract way more. They're going to add, I think, 32 billion a year to the budget by letting them claim welfare. So loads.
I mean,
more
that was always one of
across.
Starmer's big things, wasn't it? Going back to 2003.
Yeah. And then, okay, so there's going to be loads more of them. They're going to claim welfare. They're more likely to be housed in hotels at your expense, and they might go into your schools. So where are they going to go? It's Home Office policy to actually not even tell MPs where they're going to go. Because Rupert Lowe, again, absolute gentleman, fantastic. Imagine the mess we'd be in if he wasn't elected last July. He's been asking loads of questions about this, and he says, and this is a quote from the Home Office, "We do not disclose information about specific hotels which may or may not be utilised by the Home Office to the general public." So they're literally not even telling MPs where foreign criminals are being housed, especially in their schools.
Well, I would imagine that that's related to the fact that whenever they have let these constituencies know in advance, the local councils and MPs have said nope.
Yeah.
Because typically, unless, of course, it's already an ethnic enclave constituency, they don't want them there.
But what's most important in all of this? Is it the safety of the girls? Is it the value for money for British taxpayers? Is it the rule of law? Is it ensuring that foreign criminals cannot, ahead of time, state that they want to attack women in our country and then come over and do exactly that?
It's white people noticing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the language they use when they talk about this problem. Because Rupert Lowe, man who valiantly defies the nagging longhouse at every turn, decided to join a parliamentary committee debate about this, because he really does put the hours in. And he was speaking about it, and then an MP popped up, Anna Gelderd, one of the new Labour MPs, and
Everybody
said,
get ready to pop us in.
have you decided to consider to mind your language about this?
Ask yourselves honestly, if a hotel at the bottom of your road was suddenly filled overnight with young foreign males who have entered the country almost entirely unchecked, would you be happy for your teenage daughter to go out after dark? If the answer is no, the answer is no. If you, I will give way.
Thank the honourable member for giving way. Does he agree with me that women across the country face very difficult situations working home at night, and often the tone of debate is incredibly important to maintain our safety in all situations?
What?
I thank the honourable member for the question. I don't think the tone of the debate is in any way relevant to this. What's relevant to this is what the government does to protect the interests of the British people. So the answer is no. If you disagree, you're even more deluded than the Home Office.
Again, love every clip of Rupert Lowe. The man actually generates gold, but that is the level of our politics now.
What was her? It was really just tone policing.
It was really just saying, but aren't all men really the problem?
Well,
So
yeah.
if you notice that certain types of men are more likely to film schoolgirls at gates, stab young men that want to be Marines, and sexually molest girls on a night out, then you yourself are causing the problem. So instead, focus on all men rather than just the actual men committing the crime.
So really what she was saying is, I just want to feel persecuted, not racist.
Yeah. Hence why there's only going to be more of them. They're going to get more expensive. There's going to be more crimes. And rather than do something about the problem, the Labour government are going to tell you to stop speaking about it.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.